The film begins on Cybertron, where a fierce battle is underway between the Autobots and Decepticons. Optimus Prime fights valiantly, calling for help from B-127. The small Autobot arrives and takes on the Decepticons, but Optimus soon assigns him a crucial mission. They make their way to a launch pad so that Optimus can send B-127 to Earth for safety and to help establish a base for the Autobots. As the Decepticons close in to destroy the launch pad, B-127 escapes Cybertron just in time while Optimus remains behind to continue the fight. We then cut to a paintball training exercise involving Sector 7 agents. Agent Jack Burns proudly boasts about his victory to his colleagues just before B-127 crashes down nearby. As B-127 gets to his feet, the agents pursue him and manage to corner the Autobot. B-127 tries to communicate that he means no harm, but their confrontation is interrupted by the arrival of Blitzwing. Blitzwing attacks the agents and turns his attention to B-127, demanding to know the location of Optimus and the other Autobots. When B-127 refuses to cooperate, Blitzwing violently rips out his voice box and throws him off a cliff. As Blitzwing prepares to finish him off, B-127 manages to retaliate by throwing a grenade and using his blaster to destroy the Decepticon. Weakening rapidly, B-127's systems start to fail, and his memory core begins to malfunction. In his final moments, he scans a Volkswagen Beetle before shutting down. Meanwhile, in the California town of Brighton Falls, Charlie Watson starts her day by interacting with her family, her mother Sally, her brother Otis, and her stepfather Ron. Still grieving her father's death and struggling to accept Ron as part of the family, Charlie heads to her job at a carnival. There, her co-worker Memo, who has a crush on her, attempts to get her attention, but she ignores him. Later, Charlie accidentally spills lemonade on a schoolmate and faces ridicule from the popular girls led by Tina. Charlie visits her Uncle Hank's garage to help out and spots a yellow Beetle and takes a liking to it. Back at home, Charlie tries to restore a car she had been working on with her father, but becomes disheartened, feeling she can't manage it alone. Eventually, her birthday comes around and she is gifted a flowery helmet out of concern for safety by her mom. Charlie then heads back to Uncle Hank's garage and asks if she can have the car. When he refuses, Charlie offers to work at the garage for a year in exchange, and Hank eventually agrees to let her take it home. Charlie drives the Beetle back and hides it in the garage from her mother. While inspecting the car, she notices something fall from underneath and discovers B-127's face. The Autobot quickly transforms into his robot form. Charlie reassures him that she means no harm, and he seems to trust her. Unable to speak due to damage, he emits a buzzing sound, which Charlie likens to a bumblebee, so she names him Bumblebee. However, Bumblebee's activation sends out a signal across the galaxy. Elsewhere, a redneck couple, Roy and Amber, are arguing because Roy spent their rent money on a new car. As they argue, they notice something falling from the sky. Roy rushes to protect his car, but the object lands on a truck instead. A second object crashes down, destroying Roy's car and the nearby gas station. Shatter and Dropkick emerge from the craters, confronting the couple. Dropkick eliminates Roy, and the two Decepticons continue on their mission. The next morning, Charlie heads to the garage to check on Bumblebee only to find that he's missing. Panicked, she asks Otis if anyone took the car, and he tells her that Sally took it to the vet with their dog, Conan. Charlie quickly hops on her bike and races to catch up with her mom. Meanwhile, Bumblebee sticks his arm out of the car and Charlie commands him to stop. She finally catches up to Sally, invents a story, and convinces her to let her drive the car. At Sector 7 HQ, a young Agent Simmons delivers new energy readings to Burns. Burns, along with other agents and Dr. Powell, heads to the site to investigate. While that's happening, Charlie takes Bumblebee to the beach, explaining that he needs to keep his disguise when around anyone other than her. Cut back to Agent Simmons and Burns. The two arrive at the site where they encounter Shatter and Dropkick. Shatter informs the agents that they are searching for Bumblebee, whom she claims is a fugitive and must be captured. Despite Burns's reservations, the agents agree to assist the Decepticons in tracking Bumblebee. Meanwhile, Charlie leads Bumblebee into the woods to try to repair something inside him. While working, she accidentally activates a message from Optimus Prime. The message instructs Bumblebee to help bring the Autobots to Earth and updates him on the ongoing civil war on Cybertron. This triggers a flashback in Bumblebee, recalling his escape from Cybertron and witnessing Optimus battling Shockwave, Soundwave, and Ravage. Charlie brings Bumblebee home to help him communicate through his radio. She plays a few tapes, including ones by the Smiths and Rick Astley, but Bumblebee rejects them. Meanwhile, Memo comes to Charlie's door to finally talk to her. As that's happening, the Sector 7 agents grant Shatter and Dropkick access to their technology, allowing the Decepticons to integrate their advanced equipment with the agency's systems. Although Burns is wary of the Decepticons, his commanding officer gives him permission to handle the bots, as he sees fit once Bumblebee is located and captured. Charlie heads off to work on another car while Bumblebee watches The Breakfast Club, and is entertained by the iconic fist pump scene. He then reaches for another tape, but mistakenly grabs one labeled Charlie's Dive Meet. Charlie becomes upset when she sees it, as it features the last recording of her father who had filmed it. She explains to Bumblebee that her father died of a heart attack before she had a chance to say goodbye. She had hoped that fixing the car would help her preserve a part of him, but her inability to repair it makes her feel helpless. Overwhelmed, Charlie breaks down, and Bumblebee offers her comfort. As Memo finally grows a pair of balls, he approaches Charlie's house only to see Bumblebee in his Autobot form, and witness him transform into a car right before his eyes. Charlie quickly tells Memo not to panic and makes him promise to keep what he has seen a secret. Later, Memo joins Charlie and Bumblebee as they set out for the day. They visit a cliffside where Charlie's classmates are hanging out. The boy whom Charlie accidentally spilled lemonade on recognizes her, not as a diver, but challenges her to jump off the cliff into the water. As Charlie prepares to take the leap, she hesitates, overwhelmed by memories of her father. Tina, from the popular clique, taunts Charlie from her car, cruelly bringing up her father. Memo suggests they get back at Tina, so that night they go to Tina's house to toilet paper it. Bumblebee, eager to participate, ends up throwing rolls of toilet paper all over the house. They then grab some eggs to throw at Tina's car. Bumblebee manages to hit the car with all the eggs, but in his excitement, he goes too far and stomps on the car, utterly destroying it. Charlie and Memo quickly hop into Bumblebee before Tina comes outside to find her car flattened into a pancake. While Charlie is at work, Bumblebee follows Conan through the doggy door and ends up inside the house. He creates a huge mess and accidentally sticks his finger in an electrical socket, causing a short circuit that blows up the transformers outside. This explosion sends out an errant signal that Shatter and Dropkick detect, alerting the Sector 7 agents to Bumblebee's location. Memo sees the chaos unfolding and calls Charlie, urging her to come home. When she arrives, she is horrified by the mess Bumblebee made and scolds him, causing him to retreat in fear. When Sally comes home and finds the house in disarray, she starts reprimanding Charlie, assuming she is acting out. Charlie responds by accusing Sally of not understanding her grief, pointing out that she hasn't been able to find happiness or move on since her father died, unlike Sally. Charlie decides to find Bumblebee and asks Otis to cover for her at work. She tracks down Bumblebee, but they are soon discovered by Sector 7 agents and are chased. Bumblebee tries to protect Charlie, but both are subdued with tasers. Bumblebee is taken to Sector 7, prompting Charlie and Memo to mount a rescue mission. At Sector 7, Shatter and Dropkick examine Bumblebee's damaged body until they find Optimus Prime's message. Realizing that the Autobots are planning to come to Earth, they decide to summon other Decepticons to join them in their mission to eliminate both the Autobots and the humans. Dr. Powell overhears their plan and attempts to warn Burns, but Dropkick kills Powell before he can do so. The Decepticons prepare to execute Bumblebee, but Charlie and Memo manage to reach him. They hook up cables to Bumblebee in an attempt to revive him with electricity. Initially, their efforts seem futile, but Bumblebee eventually powers up and stands up. Charlie embraces him, and the electric shocks restore Bumblebee's memories. The trio steps outside, only to find themselves face to face with the agents. Burns orders the agents to fire on Bumblebee to restrain him. Seeing Charlie in danger, Bumblebee summons his strength to fight back. Fueled by anger, he retaliates fiercely, causing significant injuries to the agents. However, Charlie intervenes, reminding Bumblebee that he is not a killer. Bumblebee calms down and agrees to help Charlie stop the Decepticons. Memo offers to join them, but Charlie tells him to stay behind. She bids him farewell with a kiss on the cheek before heading off with Bumblebee. Otis is compelled to reveal Charlie's whereabouts to Sally, who then sends Ron to find her. As Ron drives out to track Charlie, they find themselves in a high-speed chase with Bumblebee and Charlie, who are being pursued by additional agents. Despite the intense pursuit and near collisions, Bumblebee and Charlie manage to evade capture. Ron skillfully avoids crashes and narrowly misses oncoming traffic. Otis, watching the thrilling chase, is initially exhilarated by the danger, but ends up feeling nauseous and vomiting from the excitement. Shatter and Dropkick are at a tower, setting up a device to call other Decepticons. Charlie climbs the tower to disable the device while Bumblebee battles Dropkick. The Decepticon uses his weaponry against Bumblebee, but the Autobot manages to wrap Dropkick in a chain and pulls him apart in one swift motion. Shatter then attacks Charlie, but Bumblebee swoops in to protect her. While Bumblebee continues to fight Shatter, Charlie successfully removes the device from the tower. As Shatter gains the upper hand, Bumblebee fires a blast that breaches a nearby dam. Bumblebee grabs Shatter and holds her as a ship crashes into them, destroying Shatter and sending Bumblebee to the bottom of the water. Charlie dives in to help him, and Burns arrives just in time to see them. With newfound respect for Bumblebee, Burns allows Charlie and Bumblebee to leave. Charlie drives Bumblebee just outside San Francisco, where they prepare to part ways. Acknowledging that Bumblebee's fellow Autobots need him and she has her own responsibilities, she tearfully says goodbye. Bumblebee hugs her in return, and then scans a Camaro, transforming into that form before heading off. Back home, Charlie finds a crowd gathered after the recent events. She reunites with her family, embracing Sally, sincerely thanking Otis for helping her, and showing respect to Ron. Memo approaches and tries to hold her hand, but Charlie gently lets him know that they're not quite ready for that yet. Meanwhile, Optimus Prime meets Bumblebee on Earth, where Bumblebee informs him of his new name as they await the arrival of the other Autobots. Charlie, feeling a sense of closure, finally finishes restoring her father's car and takes it out for a spin, ultimately concluding the film.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're a fan of our channel, be sure to check out our other videos.